At the age of just 14, he killed a rival mafia boss and his 3 months pregnant girlfriend to become better than his father. He also shook the entire Italy with one of the deadliest bombing attacks. He went straight to Greece with his girlfriend for a vacation, a playboy, boss of all bosses, and one of the 10 most wanted and powerful criminals in the world. This is the story of Matteo Denaro that stole the right to sleep of every citizen and policeman in the country. But the actual question is, how did this boss of all bosses, who drove an expensive Porsche and wore Rolexes, manage to run a multi-billion-dollar business? And why did it take the Italian police almost 30 years to catch this villain? Stay tuned because we are about to show you what happened in one of the most beautiful and visited tourist destinations in the world, the birth of the Diabolic. Born to a mafia family in Castelvetrano, Sicily, Matteo's father was a well-known criminal who ruled every inch of the town. Seeing his father living like a boss inspired him to follow the same route. However, from a young age, Matteo had the intention to not only become better than his father, but also become greater than any other criminal in the entire country, and ruling the entire Italy with a snap of his fingers became his ultimate dream. Despite his father questioning his ability to hold a gun, he learned to shoot at the age of 14 and to brag in front of other criminals about his activities. He was always throwing this statement around: "I failed asymmetry all by myself." But bragging and learning how to shoot a gun was not enough to build his reputation. So to prove his worthiness in front of criminals, he got his eyes fixed on his father's rival boss, Vincenzo Milazzo, who fearlessly ruled the town of El Camo. And before anyone could anticipate his next action, Matteo not only killed Milazzo, and also choked his 3-month pregnant girlfriend to death. The very next day, his father and their community looked at him with respect, and started calling him Diabolic, an Italian comic book character that had all the characteristics of a devil. Now, for a responsible citizen, a name like this could make them feel guilty their whole life. But for Matteo, it was a priceless gift of a lifetime. And with his diabolic reputation, he became inspired enough to do everything that a devil would do, from being a ruthless womanizer to killing a Sicilian hotel owner for raising voice against his actions. Matteo was living a fast life where the citizens, the government, and the policemen feared taking any action against his activities. The rise of the boss of all bosses. As his reputation was rising due to his criminal activities, Matteo desperately felt the need to expand his empire. Seeing his father rule only the Castelvetrano, a town in Sicily, still made him feel like he was seen as weak in the eyes of his competitors. But before he could take any action, Matteo's father died of natural causes. At that very moment, Matteo used his father's death as the perfect opportunity to expand his kingdom. And anti-mafia prosecutor Antonio Angroia said, "The mafia today is more of a federation and less of an authoritarian state. In an organization like the mafia, a boss has to be one step above the others. Otherwise, it all falls apart. It all depends on whether he can manage consensus and whether the others agree or rebel." However, the death of Matteo's father turned out to be more dangerous than what anti-mafia prosecutors imagined. Because after taking leadership from his father, he not only maintained the consensus amongst the mafia, but also used them to acquire neighboring cities. This expansion allowed him to run his businesses like a dictator. Soon, he started running extortion business by forcing people to pay protection money. He used this money to run international drug trading businesses that allowed him to build networks in Belgium and Germany, thus falling under the radar of the US Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI. But despite being aware of falling under their radar, Matteo was not bothered about any government authority. He was completely confident that no one could stop him now. And instead of hiding from the police, one of the most mesmerizing cities in Italy, Trapani caught his eye. After looking at this beautiful city, Matteo decided to over the city with all his strength. However, there was one man that was giving him the sweat, Vincenzo Verga, one of the most dangerous mafia bosses of that city, who commanded 900 men and 20 mafia families in Trapani. Luckily for Matteo, Verga was arrested by the police and Matteo quickly assumed the leadership, thus taking over the entire command of Verga and leaving behind other competitors like Giovanni, Domenico, and Vito Vitali. Evil businesses. After becoming the boss of all bosses, Matteo started businesses citizens could not imagine. And those businesses included a Sicilian supermarket chain, solar energy projects, construction projects, and even his own olive gardens, where olive oil production was secretly going on a full scale. This means the citizens were buying groceries that were produced by one of the most wanted criminals in the country. The question most people will ask is, how did this arrogant mafia manage to run these businesses without getting caught? Well, what we're about to tell you could be hard to believe. Because this time, it wasn't the members of other gangs that helped him in these projects. It was corrupt businessmen of the country who were supporting him at every step. To be more specific, one of the biggest construction businessmen of Sicily, Rosario Cassio, was one of his supporters. Rosario Cassio was captured by the police after it was discovered that he was one of the main supporters of Matteo, who helped in laundering millions of euros for him. As a result, the authorities seized 1.4 billion euros worth of assets like villas, shops, construction companies, and vehicles. Later, the police arrested another Sicilian businessman, Vito Nicastri, who was also laundering money for Matteo by way of investment in solar and wind energy projects, and the assets that were seized from Nicastri were worth 1.5 billion euros. As the police authorities were getting close to catching Matteo, one of the experts suggested that the best strategy to catch him was to dry up the water he swims in. However, what they failed to realize was the next step that this mafia boss was going to take: the chase. On May 23, 1992, Giovanni Falcon, one of the main judges determined to destroy the empire of Matteo, was on his way to work. As he went through Highway A29 of the Fasci town of Sicily, a massive bomb exploded and killed Falcon. The explosion was so powerful that it was even recorded in the local earthquake monitor. The same year, another main judge, Paolo Borsellino, was assassinated by Matteo agents. To make sure people continue to fear him and stop authorities from chasing him, Matteo launched a series of bomb attacks in famous locations of Florence, Milan, and Rome, killing 10 and injuring more than 90 people. For almost 30 years, Matteo managed to slip away from the hands of authorities, sometimes with a false name like Matteo Crocolici, and even managing to run away at the last second after the Secret Service discovered he was present in a manor farm close to his hometown. On March 15, 2010, the Italian police launched Operation Golden 2, which helped in capturing Matteo's brother, Salvatore Messina Denaro, who was secretly helping Matteo stay hidden. And finally, on January 16, 2023, the Italian police recognized Matteo after he was caught in the CCTV camera of a private clinic in Palermo. Within a few minutes, more than 100 soldiers reached the location and arrested one of the most dangerous criminals in the world. As per the media, he was visiting the private clinic for his cancer treatment. Just like in a movie, he was transferred straight from a secret military flight to one of the most guarded prisons in the country, in L'Aquila. So, what are your views about the Matteo? Let us know in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and press the like button if you like this video. Thank you for watching.